Hello, we are Group Tomrrow at the University of South Alabama. We are in EDM 310. My name is Laura Hamilton. My major is Physical Education and Sports Management.
My name is Brian Orr. My major is Secondary Mathematics Education.
My name is Sally Gayeski. My major is Secondary Science.
This week, our topic is Education for Tomorrow.
Is education just for tomorrow, or is it for the rest of our students' lives?
Interesting question. The entire group agrees it's for the rest of our lives. Education
Definitely.
it permeates all aspects of your life, really.
It follows you. You need things to go in, and with your workforce and whatever you might do, you definitely are going to need your education.
Yeah, and especially general education. I think the mentality of American school being every student needs mathematics and English, science. It helps for a broader mind to create the students' not interest in multiple subjects, but also what they can do in other subjects becomes better.
And see, I know, Brian, you're, like you said, are going into math, and math will follow you in some instances, especially in jobs, but I'm going into physical education, so, in my opinion, a lot of people don't see it, but physical education is going to follow you through your lives. You know how to eat right, and sports and activity.
It's actually that subject most of all.
Yeah, most of all, I would hope.
Mathematics.
I know a lot of normal jobs, like even the smallest of jobs, you have to have some kind of education.
Exactly.
If not, you can't even get it.
Exactly.
That's a good point. I mean,
Claire,
jobs
yes.
themselves.
The National Governors Association, I read 40% of jobs available to high school graduates and dropouts, and fewer than a third of those jobs pay more than $25,000. So you have to have an education to have a
College
livelihood,
level, yeah.
even college level, exactly. So I think it's super important. Of course, it goes into the rest of their lives. They're going to need things, and it's our job as educators to tie in how they will use that education. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I was just thinking about my mom. She only has a high school education.
And what does she do?
She's a home mom,
Okay.
but mainly volunteering, substitute teaching.
Okay.
Like this.
And see, she can get a substitute license with.
That's true. That's true. But I think,
education.
she always desires to go back to school to learn something
There you go.
new. And I think that aspect of her personality
Yeah.
is good. She wants to learn. She has a desire, and I don't know, asking students maybe to have a broader range of subjects, or just instilling in them that desire to learn is important. She got
Exactly. And she has that, and she'll have that the rest of her life. She's always willing to learn.
So it's not just that jobs require it, but I think it's also good for that person
Yeah.
to aspire to learn.
I have another question. Do we need to teach our students things that we don't even think they need to know, but they do need to know to pass the test? Like standards. What do y'all think about that?
I wish we didn't have to,
Yeah.
because it's very useless.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's give an example so that they can imagine what's something that most students don't like.
Math.
Well, math you have to have, even if working at a register, working at Waffle House, to do the register, half the time they don't have an actual calculator.
Yeah, I'd have to do
They
it in
have
their
to do it
heads.
in your head. So you have to have math. There's
Yeah.
no way around math.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something you don't have to like it. You just need to know.
Yeah, you need to know it. You don't have to like
It's one of
it.
those things you have to have and you need to know.
But say,
That's my job.
what if, like, evolution? That's a good one. Like, what if we don't think they need to know that, but they need to know something about evolution to pass that test? So I don't know. It's just such a big, wide, I guess. Do you think, like,
Yeah, what do we think?
do you think they can survive without a history lesson?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, you can
About-
get through life, but
Not happy.
I love history personally. I think I see the present, like I see patterns in history. I see the importance of some things. So when I look at some things happening, Iraq War, or even less like day-to-day life conversation with people.
You need that so you don't feel too inferior to others that are, because they may talk about it and then everything else, and you're like,
That's a
I
good
really
point.
don't know that.
Yeah,
So
knowing a
it
subject that
makes you
another
feel
person's an expert.
worse.
Yeah.
But like writing, not so much.
Uh-huh.
You
And
know,
see, yeah, that's a really good point. Uh, I think just, the way we get around that is we try to implement, like, why you need to know it. Like, you need to know about the Civil War
Yeah, that's a
because
good point.
of the war today,
Right.
Like, you need to know
You need
history.
to know
You need to know
chemistry.
science. Yeah.
Physics to
Yeah.
understand how a car moves and how inertia acts when
Right.
you're
There you go.
braking. Yeah, or something to interest, catch their interest. A real world application of the subject
Yeah.
helps when teaching.
when do you ever use writing?
Whenever you're writing,
Writing.
The only thing you actually need to learn is actual script. You don't need to learn the language part of stuff
Uh-huh.
to make a complete sentence because you're not actually writing stuff down.
hmm?
In a lot of jobs, you don't actually write.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought of that.
I mean,
You might type.
Yeah,
the
but you still need to
technology.
know grammar and sentence structure, how the language used should.
basic stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into extremes like most of them do.
Yeah.
You mean like essay prompts? How to respond to those?
Right. 'Cause
Some people would say that develops higher level thinking. Your brain functions
Yeah.
grow as you're asked to do more.
And it goes into
Essays are one of the hardest things, I think, for me.
Now, with that question, here's another one.
Yeah.
When we see the bored looks on their faces, as teachers, do we turn away and blame them? Or do we change? Should we change as teachers and as educators? What do y'all think?
you should make it more interesting so they're not so bored, so they can actually get the
Ex-
stuff that you have to take.
And I think always looking at yourself and trying to change before you ask
And
someone
better
else to is
yourself.
better.
Yeah, and bettering yourself. Like
That's
using,
harder.
yes. As teachers, we need to, with today's technology, we need to change and make project-based learning, and we need to use the smart board and get students active and stand up and, make it,
Online
make them
projects.
want to learn. So, yeah, that's it.
They're going to be bored at some point. I mean, you just have
Yeah.
to expect it also.
So you jump on the table and make them excited all over.
There you go.
You can tell a personal story. I don't know. Bring in some past classroom experience you had. A whole funny story when a student heard this. They actually got really interested and did a whole project on it. Like, wow, I never thought I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if in math class, I don't know if that's ever going to
Yeah.
happen.
And I think as a PE teacher, if I see, my students are bored, I kind of want to blame myself, or I will want to blame myself. Like, I feel like that's my fault for not keeping them active, entertained, something always going on. So,
You always
I
gotta
don't
keep
remember
their
ever feeling
interest.
bored in PE though.
yeah, I guess I got the easy subject. But all right, my next question is to Brian, of course.
All right.
What evidence do you think Penske gives in teaching digital natives to support his conclusion?
Yeah.
Just teaching.
In his book, it's mainly emphasizing the use of technology as a tool in the classroom. Having students learn to use iPads and blogs, whatnot, as help in their teaching tools for learning the concepts. He has a huge book, many points, a few points that kind of caught me. Teachers should use technology that they want their students to use, not only to better teach them, but to understand what struggles they have using that technology, the ins and outs of the technology if they have problems. So teachers using that technology is important.
Exactly, and he pointed out the 21st teaching carries, a lot of complicated challenges. Teacher turnovers, accountability, changing in student populations, and just technology changing every day.
Yeah, and students need to be able to learn on the fly, like look something up on the internet and learn on their own how to use the technology.
And not only do the students need to, learn to change, but right here it says, finally, how must teachers and teaching change? Is it possible? Then teachers need to always be open to, learning and learning new things.
same point we say to our students applies to us. We always need to be able to learn these new teaching tools.
And, you know, I really think students use the internet, their cell phones, Twitter, they use it every day. And so do we as teachers, whether it be for school, hopefully, you know, we're using podcasts and blogs in the classroom. But most of the time it's personal. So why not use that knowledge and bring it into the classroom and enforce what we're trying to get across? Because they use it every day. They know how to use it most of the time better than we do, or we will do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think
some technologies are personal kind of entertainment or something. It doesn't really apply to the classroom.
And Prinsky really thought that. Like, you know.
It is important to implement, you know, what new technologies.
Yeah. So, I mean, how could you get students involved? I mean, what do y'all think?
Just in general, in the classroom, using technology.
Yeah, like using technology in general.
Make it interesting. Do some project that they already do, like a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Blogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Prezi, I love Prezi.
You know, I think there's such a disconnect between the way students live and the way they learn, and student engagement ultimately suffers. Closing the gap is a challenge for our current school system.
Students' lives and students.
Yeah, so I mean, and it says, you know, closing the gap, meaning tying things, technology and education together is what I really think it's talking about there.
A lot of teachers actually use flip classes, which is where they do the lectures at home on the computer, and they come in the next day, and actually their homework stuff would be in the classroom.
Okay.
So they get more personal time with the teachers.
I like
that. That's a new concept.
That is, I've never heard. But I've heard of flip, but I never knew what it was.
I don't know if I would
It's
do
a
it
lot
in my
harder
class.
on the teachers.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot more stuff that you actually have to prepare and get ready for them.
Yeah.
It's a different
But
style of learning.
for like the special education students, that not 4% of students are actually LD, which is learning disabilities. And hearing it instead of just reading it, or doing both at home will actually prepare them better for the class.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that. Seriously, online lectures for those kind of students. But for the regular kind of students, like, I don't know if I would appreciate that for my Algebra 2 class.
Yeah.
I would love to learn, real time with my teacher.
Your math.
Teacher, what is this algebra equation talking about? Like, I did not get the answer you did.
Well, that's where you can use the blogs.
That's true.
To go back and
Wow.
math with the
online.
teacher while you're at home. And then if you have any more questions, you want to leave class the next day.
Yeah.
Learn more that way.
There's so many pros and cons. It's like if I was teaching basketball, I can't get on a blog and be like, this is how you throw a free throw, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, like you said, a flip class, they can come in that day and we can learn how to do the free throw, but then they can go home at night and they can have a piece of paper and we can go over online, formations and runs and where you're going to be.
Oh, I mean, I have to say, though, the opposite of that, you ask the students to learn the concept at home, and then you do formations in class.
Exactly.
That is tough because it relies on students to do the work at home.
Yeah.
And if you have a student that comes in, I forgot to learn the lesson, not they forgot to do their homework.
But they don't even know the lesson.
Then
you have to go back over the lesson. That's a really good point.
It holds back the rest of the class. So.
It's a lot of work for teachers. I know that.